Hi guys, I'm just waiting. Okay, but now can you please, I need to see your comments, guys. I hope you had a good day. Can you please give me comments if you can hear me and if you can see the screen? Then we'll definitely start with the lesson. I need confirmation if you guys can hear me. I'm just gonna wait for your comments. Hi, Bokang. Okay, great. Then we can start with the lesson, okay? Okay. Nice. Remember what we are currently doing. We are still working with analytical geometry on paper 2, and we are still working with trigonometry. So this is past paper. These are some of the things that we've already discussed. Yes, thank you very much. I can see your confirmations, guys. So these are some of the things that we already discussed. So now when we're done with these past paper questions, we'll start a new topic, which is trig graphs. That's what we're going to work on. But now let's try to attempt analytical and trigonometry on this question paper, né? Because those are the topics that most of this diagram I'm not gonna read the statement, because I know that some of the things that we have on the statement, they just explaining what we can see on the diagram. This is what we can see on the diagram. Okay, great. Now we can start with the lesson. Look at this. This is my first question. I need to answer this question, and let's see what we have here. They say that calculate the gradient of BC. Guys, I'll just go straight to the question and work on this. I'll just go to the question and so that we can start working. So now look at this. They want the gradient of BC. If you still remember, I said that if we calculate the gradient of BC, what do we do? BC, you need to write the coordinates of B down. That's the first thing that you need to do. You write the coordinates of B, and the coordinates of B is -4 and -6. Okay, I think this is too much. Let's just fix that. Okay, so the coordinates of B is given as B into -4 and -6, and the coordinates of C is given as 4 and -2. So now I said that if we are looking for the gradient, please make sure that you name your points. The first point is going to be x1, y1. This will be your x2, y2. This is how we answer analytical geometry question, because we work with points. We definitely work with points. So it's very important that you name your points as x1, y1, and so on. So they want the gradient of BC. The formula that we use is y2 minus y1 everything divided by x2 minus x1. So can you see that this will be easy for you? This will be easy for you to calculate the gradient, because already you know what is your y2, you know what is your y1. So y2 is -2, we minus y1. But now look at this. Minus y1 is negative. We need to put it inside the bracket, and everything will be divided by x2, which is 4, minus x1, which is also negative. We need to put it inside the bracket. So now the top part, we're going to have -2 plus 6, which will give us +4. Right? Everything is divided by 8. So the gradient of BC is just half. I hope this makes sense. I hope everyone is happy on that. So to answer the next question, what I'm going to do to answer the next question, they say that if M is the midpoint of EC, we are given M, and they tell us that M is the midpoint of EC. Look at this. I have M, and M is the midpoint of EC. Let's check. Look at this point here. This is the M and is the midpoint. They want us to determine the value of X and Y. So now, remember, if M is the midpoint, the formula that we use to find those, let me quickly write this down. We're going to say the X value, we find it by saying this is, how can I say this? To find the X value, this X, to find the X, we need to add our X1. Okay, come on. Let's write our coordinates down. It's EC, or we can call it CE. So if it's EC, if it's E, the coordinate of E is given as 6 is to Y, and the coordinate of C is given as what? 4 is to -2. So now I know that it's EC, so E comes first on this according to the midpoint of EC. They say EC, so I'm going to say this is my X1, this is my Y1, this is my X2, this is my Y2. So remember, to find the midpoint, we use the formula that says, the formula that we use is X2 plus X1. The answer that you get, you divide by 2. But look at this. The answer that we get here, it will give us the midpoint of M, the X coordinate, which is X. So that will be X is equals to X2. Look at that. X2 is 4, which we need to add it to X1, which is 6. Divide this by 2. The answer that you get is the X value of of M. So X is equals to 5. We are happy with that. Then to find the Y coordinate, we use the formula that says Y1, we add Y2. Everything is divided by 2. Okay, so if everything is divided by 2, now look at this. What is the Y value of M? What is the midpoint? The midpoint is 2. So this tells me that I need, where there's Y, we need to substitute 2. Because if we add them, we find the midpoint, we get an answer of 2. Then what is your Y1? Your Y1, it was Y. Then we need to add this to your Y2, which is -2. Divide everything by 2. So this will be 4. It's equals to Y minus 2. Therefore, what is Y equals to? Y is just +6. So guys, I know this is just algebra. We cross multiply the 2 by the 2. Yeah, so we get the 2 and the 2. So Y is equals to -2. So 4 is equals to Y minus 2. We move the 2 to the other side. I'm not sure, guys. I think I'm moving fast. I am moving fast. Let me just pause and see if we have any questions on this problem. Do we have any questions on this one? Are you all happy with that? I don't see your comments, guys. Then when we move to the next one, they want us to calculate. They say that calculate the length of BC. Leave your answer in sat form. The length of BC. So look at this. What is BC? The coordinate of B is -4 and -6. So I'm going to say I have B, which is -4 and -6, and C, which is, what is the coordinate of C? 4 and -2. So this is 4 -2. Remember, we always name the points. Trust me, if you do this, there's no way you're going to get this thing wrong. So this will be your X2 or your X1, Y1. This will be your X2, Y2. The only thing left now is for us to do what? The only thing left is for us to, let's do this, to use the formula for distance, the distance formula. BC it's equal to the root of, we need to take x2, then we need to subtract that with x1, right? Then this is squared, we add y2, we need to subtract y1, this is squared. We can divide, we can do the substitution now. We can do the substitution. What do we get? We're going to have the root of x2. We know it's 4. We minus inside the bracket x1, which is negative 4. And this should be squared. Please make sure that you get that right. Now, y2, it's minus 2. And then we're going to subtract y1, which is also negative. We need to put it inside the bracket. So putting this inside the bracket, it's also important. So now you just have to work this thing out. If you work this thing, it's the same as saying BC is equal to the root of, it's 4 plus 4, which is 8, 8 squared. We get, I think 8 squared. Let's quickly put this on the calculator. Okay, 8 squared is 64. Then the other side will give us minus 2 plus 6 is 4. 4 squared. So 4 squared is 16. So we take the 16, we add it with 64. It's 80. So this will be plus 16, which will give us the root of 80. They said leave your answer in that form. You don't have to punch SD. You just have to say root 80 on your calculator. Check it if it can be simplified. So this will give us 4 the root of 5. This is also easy math, né? Right. They say that it is further given that AE is equal to root 80. Guys, are you still with me? Do you guys understand what is going on here? Soli, what's wrong? Soli, what's wrong? Okay, so now they say it is further given that AE is equal to root 80. What type of quadrilateral is ABCE? What type of quadrilateral is ABCE? It is further given that A it's root 80. Let's go and see what is AE. The length from A to C. Oh, you are following. Okay, no problem. The length from A to C, this length here, that length, they say that it's equal to the root of 80. And remember, we just calculated BC. BC is also the root of 80. Because remember, we just calculated BC, it was root 80. So now, what type of a quadrilateral is ABCE? So opposite sides are equal. We're going to call this parallelogram. One opposite sides equal and parallel. Can you see that this line here is parallel to that line? So we have one side that is parallel and one side that is equal. We're going to call this a parallelogram. It's a parallelogram. Right, so now it's a parallelogram because we have one pair opposite sides are equal, and we have are equal and parallel. One pair opposite sides equal and parallel. That's how you can answer this question. The next question, for how many marks? 3 marks. They want you to determine the equation of AD in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. Let's go check what is AD. The line AD. Look at AD. Look at the line of AD. Now, guys, look at where is that line AD. So, your line AD, this is the line that they are referring to. From this point to that point, look at this line. We need to find the equation of that line. So line AD is perpendicular to what? To BC. So AD is perpendicular to BC. I'm just going to note it down here and say AD and BC are perpendicular. So what do we know about the gradient of perpendicular lines is that if we take the gradient of AD, we multiply this with the gradient of BC, we need to find an answer of -1. Therefore, remember, when we started this lesson, we started by calculating the gradient of BC, which was 1/2. Okay, so we calculated the gradient as 1/2. So now, the gradient of AD, it will be the reciprocal of that 1/2, but now we change the sign. For example, the gradient of BC is equals to 1/2. Therefore, we can conclude and say the gradient of AD will be equal to what? It will be the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2, but remember it should be negative. I hope this makes sense, né? I hope this makes sense. But if you need to understand what you need to do, this is what you can do. But this, you're going to waste time if you do it like this. We can use this formula and say we are looking for the gradient of AD multiplied by the gradient of BC, which is 1/2. This is equal to -1. So to make AD subject of the formula, we're going to multiply both sides by 2, which will give us the gradient of AD to be -2. So now we know the gradient of AD. We can say y is equals to -2x plus c. So now we can use any point between A and D to find the value of c. We can use any point. If I use A, we don't have the coordinates of D, so I guess we don't have a choice but to use A. A is -2 and 2. This will be, I need to substitute A. This is -2 and 2. This is my x, this is my y. Where there's y, I need to put 2, -2. Where there's x, I need to put -2 plus c. Therefore, this is 2, it equals to 4 plus c. Therefore, what is c equals to? The 4 will go to the other side to be 2 minus 4, which will give us -2. So now we just have to take c, substitute it back on that given equation. Né? You take this c, you're going to substitute it back on that guy, and you're going to write your final answer. So your final answer is y is equal to -2x minus 2. So this is the equation of AD. AD. And that's it for this problem. That's it for this problem. Thank you, Soli. I can see your comment. Okay, thanks. Okay, don't worry guys, we're going to push and end the live exactly 9 o'clock now. We're going to edit exactly 9 o'clock. Today's lesson will just be 1 hour now. Today will be 1 hour. Give the angle of inclination of the line AD shown in what? Give the angle of inclination of the line AD shown in the diagram by the symbol theta. They want us to find the angle of inclination of the line AD. Which one is the angle of inclination? This angle. We use the gradient. We need the gradient of AD, which is something that we already have. We have the gradient of AD. So to find that angle of inclination, we need to say the tan of theta is equal to the tan of theta. I'm going to say the tan theta is equals to the gradient of AD. And remember, we just calculated this to be -2. So now, when we find this, we need to find the reference angle RA. Remember, we don't include negative now. So the reference angle will be the tan inverse without the negative. So the tan inverse of 2. And we find that our RA is equals to, what do you guys get? Let me also do it on my calculator. Shift tan of 2, this gives us 63.4. So I have the reference angle of 63.4. So if the gradient is negative, if the gradient is negative, what you need to do, you're going to say theta will be equal to 180, you minus that reference angle. So the final answer will be 180, we minus RA of 63.4. The answer that you get is your reference angle, and this is 116.6 degrees. Wow. I hope you guys understand that. Thank you guys, I can see your comments now. I can definitely see your comments. I can definitely see your comments, guys. Okay, let's look at the next question. Let's look what we are given on the next question. Now, the next question, they say show that the coordinates d 0.8 and -3 and 6 are derived. So they just want you to find the coordinates of d. So remember, look at d. Where is d? Look at where is point d. I think everyone can see that d is the midpoint, not midpoint, the point of intersection for line BC and AD. So it's the point of intersection. The first thing that I'm going to do first, the most important thing to do, let's write down the equation of AD. I'll say AD is equals to, remember we find the equation of AD to be y. Okay, y is equal to -2x minus 2. So these are the coordinates of AD. Now, if this is the equation of AD, we also need the equation of BC. You understand? Because AD, look at that point D. You see this point D is the point of intersection. When we say something is the point of intersection, it's where AD and the line BC meet. So we need to find the equation of AD and the equation of BC, then we need to equate them and solve for x. So now we already know what is AD, we need to find BC. But to find BC, it will be easy because we're going to say y is equals to mx plus c. We already know the coordinates of the gradient. We already know that our gradient is half. This will be 1 over 2x plus c. We need to use one point between B and C. We can use any point. I'm going to choose C to find the value of C, the corresponding value of C. So we said we'll use point C, and the coordinates of C is given as 4 and -2. Then this is my x, this is my y. Where there's y, I need to put -2. Where there's x, I need to put 4 plus c. So -2 is just 1 over 2. Divide 4 is like saying half of 4 is just 2 plus c. Therefore, what is c? C is just -4. So the coordinates of BC, the line BC will be y is equal to half minus 4. So remember, D is the point of intersection. I'm going to write this down so that everyone can get this right now. Point D is point of intersection. So to find the point of intersection, we take the equation of AD, we need to equate it to the equation of BC. So we're going to take the -2x minus 2, we need to equate it to half x minus 4. Then can you see the only variable it's x, so we need to solve for that x value. So if we add the like terms, we're going to have I'm going to have this as 1 over 2x. Let's bring the 2x this side to be positive, this side as minus 2. Let's bring the 4. So this side, this is just minus 2 plus 4. What is that equals to? What is minus 2 plus 4? This is 2. And then this will be equal to, these are the like terms. I have 1 over 2x plus 2x. When we add these two, what do we get? If we say 1 over 2, we add this with 2, we get an answer of 5 over 2. So this will be 5 over 2x. Let's make x subject of the formula. I can divide both sides by 5 over 2. Divide the other side by 5 over 2. Therefore, x is just, I know that the 2 on top is just 2 over 1. We change the division to multiplication, so this will be 2 over 5. So the x is just 4 over 5. So if you punch this on the calculator, it should give us this x value here. It should give us the 0.8. It should give us the 0.8. If you don't get 0.8, then you'll have to redo the problem again, because there's something wrong if you don't get the 0.8. So I'm just going to say 4 divided by 5. 0.8. So this is 0.8. So now, to find the corresponding y value, we need to use the 0.8 that we have. We can equate it. We can substitute it on one of this equation. We can use the equation of AD, or we can use the equation of BC. So I'm just going to choose AD because I don't have any fractions on AD. Where there's y, we need to put minus 3.6. I'm sorry, we need to put 0.8. The answer should be minus let me try to relax now. Where there's x, let me write the equation of AD down. I'm going to say I have the equation of AD, which is y is equals to minus 2x minus 2. So where there's x, we need to put 0.8. So if you put this on the calculator, it should give you that corresponding y value that they are looking for, the negative 3.6. It should give you the negative 3.6. I hope everyone understands that part. Do you guys have any questions on this one? I'm just gonna pause and see if we have any questions based on this problem. Okay, thanks, Evelyn. Okay, let's move to the next one. Let's see what we have on the next one. Determine the area of ABC. No reasons required. They want us to find the area of ABCD. The area of ABCD. Look at this. I have ABCD. So how can I find the area of ABCD? And how many marks is this? Question 3 marks. Okay, this should be easy because I just checked the mark and I see that this should be very, very easy now. So the area, what is this? ABCD. Let's look for the area of we need to find the area of A, B, A, B, C, D. So it's the area of this this triangle. So we know that area is equals to half base times the height. So what is the base? The base is going to be BC. So this will be half of BC. We need to multiply by the height, and the height will be that AD. So this will be the height of AD. So just gonna call this AD. Look at this. Do we have the length of BC? Yes. Do you have the length of AD? No. We need to first start by finding the length of AD. If we can find the length of AD, everything will be good. Then we're going to use the distance formula. So now, do we have the coordinates of D? Let us quickly go and check if we calculated the coordinates of D. I think we did. Show that D, these are the coordinates of D. They were given. So this should be easy, né? First thing first, we said the area of a palm, or the area of a triangle, area is equals to half, and the base is BD, the base is, we said the base will be BC. I think they made a mistake when they say BCD. They wanted us to find for, look at this, I think the question wanted us to find for the area of ABCE. CE, they were supposed to say CE, but it's fine. We're just gonna find the area of that triangle. So we need to find the length of AD. BC multiplied by AD. So now I know that the coordinates of D is given as 0.8, and this was 0.8 and minus 3.6, and then we know that A was given as, let's quickly check what was A, minus 2 and 2. And 2. So now this is my x1, y1. This is my x2, y2. So the distance of AD is equals to the root of x2, which is 0.8, we minus x1, which is negative 2. Put this guy inside the bracket. We add y2, which is negative 3.6, minus y1, which is 2. They should be squared. We just have to punch that on the calculator to find the length of AD. Okay, so let me quickly put it on the calculator. Let's see what we get. 0.8 minus into minus 2 squared plus minus 3.6 minus 2 it's 0.8 minus into minus 2, so that's 0.8 plus 2 squared, and then we have negative 3 minus 2. Is this negative 3.6? Yes, negative 3.6. So I get my AD to be the root of a fraction 196 by 5, and then we know that BC is equal to root 80, so I can just equate everything and say this is 1 over 2 multiplied by the root of 80 multiplied by the root of that 196 over 5. Okay, we just have to punch this on the calculator and see what we get. We're just gonna say half into root 8 was 4 root 5, and then now this will be multiplied by the root of inside a bracket 196. Please guys, make sure that you check my mistakes, and this will give us 28 units. So this is equal to 28 units. Okay, let's work on the next questions, guys. We only have 18 minutes to end the lesson. Let's see what we can do on trigonometry in that 18 minutes. Now, some of the things I've already showed you guys, unless if you want me to give you this question first to work on them, then on the next lesson we'll start answering the question. I don't know, let me see on the comments. What do you guys think? Should I give you the question first to attempt them, then we'll do them when we come back on the next lesson? Let me see your comments. What do you guys what do you think, guys? If more people say give us, then I'll definitely give you to work on them first, then on the next lesson we can just attempt the questions. This is a sign, guys, to show you that today I'm tired. What do you guys think? What should we do? Do you want to attempt the questions first? Look at this one, the first one. We are given this and they want us to express this in its simplest form. We need to express this in its simplest form. Okay, let's work on the questions. So now I'm just gonna try and simplify this problem. The first one is cos x. I'm just gonna say cos x will just be cos x, okay? So cos x will be cos x. This will be multiplied by tan of 180 minus x. In which quadrant is 180 minus x? This is quadrant 2. How is tan in quadrant 2? Tan is negative, so this will change into negative the tan of x, close the bracket. So we need to reduce the sign of 430 degrees. We need to reduce this. Remember I told you guys, when you reduce this type of a problem, this is a very big number. We can just start by subtracting what is this? We can just subtract let's do this. We can subtract 360 and tell me what you guys get. So we can write this as the sign of we take the 430 degrees, we subtract 360 degrees. So this will give us the sign of 70 degrees. So now the sign of 70 degrees, I can take this, I can write this as the sign of 70, right? So now if this is the sign of 70, let's do this. Where is cos of negative angle? Where is the cos of negative theta? This is quadrant 4. How is cos in quadrant 4? It's positive. So this will be divided by positive the cos of 20 degrees. Now, and this is multiplied by the sine x. Then I don't want you to waste any time here. Né? When you get to this step, let's change the tan. We can change that tan there and write this in this form and say this is the cos x multiplied by, okay, let's bring the negative out. So I'm gonna say this is negative, therefore I know that tan is sine x over the cos x. This is multiplied by the sine 70. I need to make the sine 70 to be the same as cos 20. So I can write this as the sine of 90 degrees. I need to minus 20, and this is in quadrant 1. So when we minus, we are in quadrant 1, and this is a cofunction. Sine changes to cos. How is sine in quadrant 1? It's positive. This will be positive, the cos of 20. So on top I have the cos of 20. Now I'm happy because I know that the cos 20 and the cos 20 will cancel. This is multiplied by the sine x. Let's see which, if we have the like terms that we can cancel. Yes, we do. The cos, because this is multiplication, this 2 cancels. This 2 cancels. I'm left with sine over sine. So this is negative. The sine x over the sine x, they cancel, and this will give us just minus 1. This is simplified. So remember, this thing here, this is a fraction multiplied. The fraction is sine over cos multiplied by cos. So the cos will cancel. So on top I'm left with sine x only. On bottom I'm left with sine x only. So when you do it like this, then it is fully simplified. The answer is minus 1. Okay, it's fine. And then now I see a lot of learners say I should give you the questions to attempt. I guess this is where we're going to stop for today. I'll definitely post this question on the group now for you guys to work on them. You're going to work on this. You're going to prove the identity. Then after proving the identity, you're going to determine the general solution. And then you're going to also determine the general solution again. Yeah, and that's it. So you just have how many marks? 7 marks. What? 7 marks is general solution. Plus 3, that's 10. So general solution is 10. Proving the identity, it's 4. So now you're going to have a question that is out of 14 marks. So let's see that if yesterday's lesson helped. Let's see out of what are you going to get out of, what is this? Out of 14. I need you guys to get 70% and above. And this is where we're going to stop for today. I'll definitely send these questions on the group now. I'll definitely send the questions on the group now. Let me say this is page 5. This is page 6 on PDF. And 7. I'm definitely gonna send this now. Thank you guys for joining in. Let me see you tomorrow on our next lesson. Thank you very much. I'll send the questions.